chosen one. They're not just watching you, they're hunting you, because you are the prophecy child, carrying the most threatening bloodline this planet has ever known. You've been marked since birth, not for destruction, but for destiny. The chaos, the betrayals, the constant resistance, none of it was random. It was the world's way of trying to contain what cannot be contained, divine power in human form. Right now, ancient energies are awakening within you. You're the descendant of beings who didn't just walk the earth, they shaped it. They moved matter with thought, healed with intention, and spoke reality into form. The world fears what you carry because it cannot control it. You were never meant to blend in, you were sent to reawaken humanity. You want to know why your life has been harder than everyone else's? Because easy doesn't forge diamonds. Comfort doesn't create warriors. Your soul didn't choose an easy incarnation. It chose effectiveness. It chose maximum impact. It chose to be placed exactly where the breakthrough would be most difficult and most necessary. That's not punishment. That's strategy. That's power playing the long game. You've been under attack since birth, not metaphorically, literally. There are forces in non-physical dimensions whose entire operation depends on humans staying unconscious, staying distracted, staying weak, staying disconnected from the power that flows through them naturally. And then there's you, walking around with ancient god codes in your DNA, carrying frequencies that could wake up everyone you touch, holding keys that unlock doors they've spent millennia keeping sealed. You think they were going to leave you alone. You think they were going to let you just stroll into your power without resistance. The moment you took your first breath, you became a target. Every random obstacle was a strategic placement. Every person who betrayed you was a puppet on strings you couldn't see. Every failure that crushed you was an attempted knockout punch designed to make you quit before you figured out what you're carrying. Think about your life right now. Really look at it. Notice how every time you were about to break through, something happened. A relationship exploded, money dried up, health crashed, opportunity vanished. You thought that was bad luck. You thought maybe you weren't meant for success. But what if I told you those weren't accidents? What if those were coordinated spiritual attacks, timed precisely to stop your ascension, your depression? That was spiritual warfare, your anxiety, psychic attacks, your isolation, strategic removal of distractions, so you'd have no choice but to develop internal strength. Nothing was random, nothing was wasted. Every single thing that happened to you was either part of your activation sequence or an enemy attack trying to prevent that activation. And the fact that you're still here, still conscious, still searching, means the attacks failed, means you're stronger than what they sent to stop you. Now let me tell you what they're really afraid of. It's not just that you'll wake up. Thousands wake up every day. What terrifies them is what happens after you wake up. Because you're not designed to just sit in enlightenment, eating organic vegetables and posting spiritual quotes. You're designed to disrupt, to expose, to dismantle. You carry a frequency that automatically dissolves illusions when you walk into a room. You hold a vibration that wakes people up, whether they want to wake up or not. You are a living weapon against every system built on lies. And your bloodline? Go back far enough and you'll find the ones who kings feared, the ones religious institutions tried to exterminate, the ones who got burned, crucified, assassinated because they couldn't be controlled, they couldn't be bought, they couldn't be threatened into silence. That DNA is in you. That fire is in your blood. That refusal to bow is encoded in your cells. This is why you've never been able to just accept what everyone else accepts. Why authority figures always felt threatened by you, even when you weren't challenging them. Why you question everything, test everything, refuse to believe something just because someone official declared it true. That's not rebellion. That's your bloodline asserting itself. That's your ancestors speaking through your instincts, saying, don't you dare submit to anyone who claims power over you. You are one of thousands waking up simultaneously across the planet, each carrying a piece of the puzzle, each holding a key to a different lock, each assigned to dismantle a different part of the matrix. You're not alone in this. You're part of a coordinated spiritual operation that's been planned for eons, and your waking up right now isn't random, it's right on schedule. Some of you are activating psychic vision. You're starting to see through the illusions, starting to perceive entities and energies that most people can't see. That's not for entertainment, that's intelligence gathering. You're being shown what's really happening, so you can expose it, so you can teach others how to see it, so you can dismantle deceptions that have fooled humanity for millennia. Some of you are activating healing abilities. Your touch changes people. Your presence alone makes others feel better. Your words unlock something in people that's been frozen. That's not so you can charge for sessions. That's so you can heal the wounds that keep people enslaved. That's so you can free people from trauma that's been weaponized against them. That's so you can restore the power that was stolen from the collective. Some of you are activating prophetic vision. You're seeing timelines, getting downloads about what's coming, knowing things before they happen. That's not for your personal advantage. That's navigation equipment. You're being shown the path so you can lead others through the chaos, so you can warn them about traps, so you can guide them toward freedom. Whatever your specific gifts are, they're activating now because they're needed now. The world is entering a phase where the old systems can't hold anymore, where lies are being exposed faster than new ones can be created, where the control grid is glitching and people are starting to see through it. And right at this exact moment, you're coming online with exactly the gifts needed to help humanity through the transition. But here's what you need to understand about the resistance you're facing. It's not trying to stop you anymore. It already failed at that. You survived. You made it to activation. You're awake. The attacks you're experiencing now aren't trying to prevent your awakening. They're trying to prevent you from fulfilling your mission. They're trying to keep you so destabilized, so distracted, so exhausted that you never actually use your gifts. This is why every time you decide to step into your purpose, chaos erupts. This is why when you're about to launch something, everything falls apart. This is why the moment you commit to your mission, attacks intensify. Because you walking in your power is a direct threat to every system built on human unconsciousness. You fulfilling your purpose triggers a domino effect that helps others fulfill theirs. You successful means the whole game changes. So they're throwing everything at you, making you doubt your sanity, making you question your gifts, making you think you're not ready, not worthy, not qualified, placing people in your path who drain your energy, creating financial pressure that keeps you in survival mode, attacking your health so you're too exhausted to move forward, all of it designed to delay you, to neutralize your threat. If you felt called by this message, hype this video so other chosen ones like you can be reached. You're not who you were before. The attacks that would have destroyed old you only sharpened new you. The betrayals that would have closed your heart only expanded it. The failures that would have made you quit only taught you how to rise. You've been upgraded through adversity, forged in fires hot enough to burn away everything that wasn't real. What remains is pure power. And now we come to the part where everything shifts, where victim becomes victor, where hunted becomes hunter, where chosen one stops running and starts reigning, because there's a moment in every chosen one's journey where the switch flips, when they stop asking why me and start declaring try me, where they stop defending their worthiness and start demonstrating their power. That moment is now, not someday, not when you feel ready, now. This is where you make a choice that changes everything. Do you keep playing small because it's safer, or do you step into the fullness of who you are regardless of consequences? Do you keep hiding your gifts because people might judge you, or do you unleash them because people need them? Do you keep waiting for perfect conditions, or do you move forward knowing you are the perfect condition? You want to know why you've always felt different, because you are different. You want to know why normal life never satisfied you, because you're not built for normal. You want to know why you've suffered more than everyone else, because you're being forged into something everyone else isn't. You're not here to fit in. You're here to stand out so far that you become a beacon for others still lost in the dark. And the wealth, let's talk about the wealth that's coming. Not because you hustled for it, not because you manifested it, because the universe doesn't send soldiers into battle without supplies. You can't fulfill your mission from a place of lack. You can't lead people to freedom while you're trapped in survival. You can't build the new earth if you don't have resources to build with. The wealth transfer isn't reward, it's equipment, it's ammunition, it's fuel for your mission. And it's coming now because you're finally ready to steward it. You've proven you can lose everything and maintain integrity. You've proven you can face scarcity and still choose generosity. You've proven you won't be corrupted by abundance because you've already been tested by lack and didn't break. So opportunities are about to appear that seem impossible. Connections are about to form that feel destined. Ideas are about to download that contain exact blueprints for what to build. Money is about to flow from sources you didn't expect. All of it was orchestrated, all of it divinely timed, all of it responding to one thing, your decision to stop playing small and step into your assignment. But you have to receive it. You have to release the identity of struggle. You have to stop wearing poverty like proof of your spirituality. You have to understand that being broke doesn't make you holy. Being powerful and using that power for good makes you holy. Having wealth and weaponizing it for liberation makes you holy. The enemy wants you poor. The divine wants you prosperous. Choose whose agenda you're serving. Now let's talk about the betrayals, because you need to understand what really happened when people you loved turned on you, when family rejected you, when friends became enemies, when partners left right when you needed support most. That wasn't random. That was strategic removal. Those people couldn't go where you're going. Their frequency couldn't match yours. Their faith couldn't sustain the pressure. Their character couldn't handle the intensity. So the universe removed them, not to hurt you, but to free you, not to isolate you, but to protect you. Because where you're going, you need people who can match your frequency. You need people who won't be intimidated by your power. You need people who will fight beside you, not need you to carry them. The betrayals weren't rejection. They were the path clearing itself of obstacles disguised as companions. And you don't need to forgive them in the sense of letting them back in. You need to release them in the sense of letting them go. They served their purpose. They taught you discernment. They showed you what loyalty isn't. They revealed that your mission is bigger than any individual relationship. Now you move forward. Now you focus on the ones coming, who are ready for where you're going, because they are coming, your real tribe, your true family, the ones who recognize you on sight, the ones who've been searching for you as hard as you've been searching for them, the ones who don't need you to explain yourself because they already understand. They're finding you right now. They're being led to you by the same force that led you here. And when you meet them, you'll know, because the recognition will be instant. This is all connected. Can you see it now? The attacks that made you stronger, the betrayals that freed you, the failures that redirected you, the pain that expanded you, the darkness that taught you how to hold light. None of it was random. None of it was wasted. All of it was preparation for this moment. This exact moment where you stop being a student and become a master, where you stop being led and start leading. You are the disruption they couldn't stop. You are the frequency shift they couldn't prevent. You are the awakening they couldn't suppress. And now you're going to do what you were born to do. You're going to wake people up. You're going to expose the lies. You're going to dismantle the systems. You're going to lead people out of bondage and into freedom. Not because you're perfect, because you're purposeful. They hunted you because they knew what would happen if you woke up. Now you're awake. They feared your bloodline because they remembered what happened last time it activated. Now it's activated. They tried to stop the prophecy because they knew it would end their reign. Now it's fulfilling itself through you. You are no longer the hunted. You are the reckoning. You are no longer in survival mode. You are in dominion mode. You are no longer questioning if you're chosen. You are demonstrating why you were. This is where victim dies and victor rises. This is where chosen one becomes reigning one. This is where the prophecy stops being prediction and becomes manifestation. The hunt is over, your reign has begun, and everything that tried to stop you just became fuel for your fire. Welcome to your power, chosen one. Now show them why they should have been more afraid. But let me take you deeper into why your bloodline specifically makes you the most dangerous being on this planet right now. Because there's something encoded in your genetic memory that the controllers have been trying to erase for generations. Your ancestors didn't just have abilities, they had knowledge. Knowledge of how reality actually works, knowledge of how consciousness shapes matter, knowledge of how frequency creates form. And that knowledge didn't disappear when they died. It embedded itself into the DNA of their descendants, into your DNA. This is why you've always had moments where you just knew things, where information downloaded into your consciousness without you studying it, where solutions appeared fully formed without you thinking through them. That's not genius, that's genetic memory activating. That's your bloodline speaking through your cells. That's ancient wisdom that's been waiting for the right consciousness to access it, and you're that consciousness. The people hunting you understand this better than you do. They know that one awakened bloodline carrier can undo centuries of programming. They know that when you remember what your ancestors knew, their entire control system becomes obsolete. They know that the knowledge in your cells is the antidote to the poison they've been feeding humanity. That's why the hunt has been so aggressive. That's why the attacks have been so strategic. They're not trying to stop you from being spiritual. They're trying to stop you from remembering what you actually are. And what you are is terrifying to anyone who profits from human limitation. You are a walking reset button. You are a consciousness virus that infects the matrix with truth. You are a frequency broadcast that automatically disrupts lower vibrations. Just your presence in a room changes the energy. Just your words in a conversation plant seeds that grow into full awakening. Just your existence proves that everything they taught us about human limitation is a lie. The isolation protocol is breaking down. Chosen ones are finding each other. The confusion is lifting. The gifts are activating whether permission is granted or not. You are part of a mass awakening that's happening faster than the enemy can suppress it, and the more of you who wake up, the easier it becomes for others to wake up. Your frequency literally creates a field that makes awakening contagious. Think about what that means. Every person you wake up goes on to wake up others. Every truth you speak echoes through the collective consciousness. Every time you choose love over fear, you shift the planetary frequency. You're not just healing yourself, you're healing the entire human family tree. You're not just freeing yourself, you're freeing everyone connected to your bloodline across all timelines. This is the prophecy, not one savior coming to rescue humanity, but a generation of chosen ones activating simultaneously and creating a frequency shift so massive that the old paradigm can't survive it. You are part of a distributed awakening, a decentralized revolution, a grassroots transformation that can't be stopped because there's no single leader to take down. There's just thousands of you spread across the planet, each doing your part, each carrying your piece, each fulfilling your assignment. And your assignment isn't small, your assignment isn't safe. Your assignment requires you to be visible when everything in you wants to hide. It requires you to speak when silence would be easier. It requires you to stand when everyone else is kneeling, because your bloodline doesn't bow, your DNA doesn't submit, your frequency doesn't compromise. You are genetically incapable of accepting slavery once you remember you were born free. Now let me put you onto something real, Destiny Engine. I built this because I was done watching chosen ones get dragged through betrayal, isolation and attacks while their enemies strutted around unchecked. I want to help you accelerate the speed of your divine justice and step fully into your purpose, and the beauty of it, you don't even have to lift a finger. Destiny Engine takes their downfall and flips it into your rise. This isn't another meditation app. which declassified consciousness technology, the same mind-programming tools your enemies once used to install fear, competition and scarcity, re-engineered to restore your sovereignty and align you with the cooperative, upgraded operating framework, which generates personalized sequences mapped to your divine purpose. The hardest thing you'll do is put on headphones, press play, and watch your enemies keep digging their own grave. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your destiny engine for $1 today and turn everything they did to break you into fuel for your rise. Link in the description. But execution requires something most people never develop. It requires unwavering certainty in the face of universal doubt. It requires you to trust yourself when everyone questions you. It requires you to move forward when every logical reason says to wait. Because logic is a tool of the matrix, logic keeps you calculating probabilities instead of creating possibilities. Logic makes you ask permission from systems that have no authority over your destiny. Your bloodline doesn't operate on logic, it operates on knowing. Deep, cellular, unshakable knowing that transcends evidence and defies explanation. You know things before you can prove them. You feel truth before you can articulate it. You sense direction before you can map it. That knowing is your navigation system. That knowing is how your ancestors moved through hostile territory and survived. That knowing is activating in you right now, telling you exactly what to do next if you're brave enough to listen. And bravery isn't the absence of fear. Bravery is moving despite terror. Bravery is speaking truth when lies would be safer. Bravery is standing alone when you haven't seen the backup yet, because the backup is coming. The tribe is assembling, the army is forming, but someone has to go first. Someone has to be willing to stand exposed and vulnerable and say, this is who I am and this is what I'm here to do, before others feel safe enough to do the same. That someone is you, not because you're more qualified than others, because you're more activated than others, not because you're better than others, because you're further along the path than others, not because you're special in a way that excludes, because you're chosen in a way that includes. Your rising creates a slipstream that others can ride. Your courage creates permission for others to be courageous. Your visibility creates safety for others to be seen. This hunt has been happening for thousands of years. Every major genocide wasn't random violence. It was targeted elimination of bloodlines carrying specific frequencies. Every book burning wasn't about controlling information. It was about destroying knowledge of who humans actually are. Every religious persecution wasn't about faith. It was about silencing those who remembered how to access power directly, without intermediaries. Your ancestors were the ones they burned as witches, the ones they drowned as heretics, the ones they crucified as blasphemers, the ones they exterminated as threats, and before they died, they encoded their knowledge into their DNA. They embedded their gifts into genetic sequences that would activate in future generations. They ensured that what they knew wouldn't be lost. It would just go underground, go dormant, go silent until the time came when it could re-emerge safely. That time is now. The world has shifted enough that chosen ones can activate without being physically eliminated. The frequency has risen enough that your gifts can express without getting you killed. The collective consciousness has expanded enough that people are ready to receive what you have to give. This is why you're here now. This is why you incarnated in this specific generation, because this is when the bloodlines were always meant to reactivate. And reactivation doesn't mean you suddenly get powers you didn't have. It means you remember powers you always had but forgot. It means you access abilities that were always there but dormant. It means you step into a version of yourself that's been waiting for you to catch up. Because your higher self has been operating at full capacity this whole time. Your soul has been awake while your human self slept. And now the gap is closing. Now the human is remembering what the soul never forgot. And the connection runs deeper than you realize. You're not just connected to the people you know. You're connected to everyone carrying a similar frequency. You're connected to your entire soul family across the planet. You're connected to every being who incarnated with the same mission. When one of you activates, it sends a signal to all the others. When one of you breaks through, it makes breakthrough easier for everyone else. You are nodes in a network, cells in a body, instruments in an orchestra, and when you play your note, you make it possible for others to play theirs. This is the mechanism of the prophecy. This is how the shift happens. Not through force, through frequency, not through fighting, through rising, not through convincing, through demonstrating. You don't argue with people about what's possible. You become living proof of what's possible. You don't debate people about human potential. You embody human potential. You don't try to wake people up with words. You wake them up with your presence, and your presence is powerful, more powerful than you've been allowing yourself to be. Because somewhere along the way you learn to dim your light, you learn to shrink your energy, you learn to play small so others wouldn't feel threatened. But that game is over. That strategy doesn't work anymore. The world doesn't need you dimmed. The world needs you at full brightness. The world needs you taking up space. The world needs you being so unapologetically yourself that it gives others permission to do the same. This is what it means to carry the most threatening bloodline. Not that you're dangerous to people, that you're dangerous to systems. Not that you harm individuals, that you liberate them. Not that you destroy, that you reveal. You reveal that the emperor has no clothes. You reveal that the cage was never locked. You reveal that the limitations were always illusions, and revelation is the most powerful force in the universe, because once someone sees truth, they can't unsee it. Your bloodline specializes in revelation, in exposure, in unveiling. Your ancestors were the ones who pulled back curtains and showed what was hidden, the ones who spoke truth when everyone else parroted lies, the ones who refused to pretend, and that quality runs in your veins. You can't help but see through deception. You can't help but sense when something's off. You can't help but know when you're being manipulated. It's automatic, it's instinctive, it's your birthright, and now that gift is needed more than ever. Because the lies have gotten so sophisticated, the programming has gotten so subtle, the control has gotten so normalized that most people don't even recognize they're being controlled. They think the thoughts in their head are their own. They think the desires in their heart are authentic. They think the life they're living is the one they chose. And then you show up, and just by being yourself, you disrupt their programming. Just by speaking your truth, you create cognitive dissonance. Just by living free, you make them question their chains. Your body knows things your mind hasn't caught up to yet. This is why you feel physical sensations when truth is spoken. Why your chest expands when you're aligned with your path. Why your stomach drops when something's wrong, even if it looks right on the surface. Your cells are responding to frequencies your brain can't process yet. Your nervous system is detecting signals your conscious mind can't interpret. This is your bloodline communication system. This is how your ancestors speak to you across time. Listen to your body. It's smarter than the programming in your head. It hasn't been conditioned the same way your thoughts have. It responds to truth automatically, instantly, without needing proof or logic. When you meet someone and your body recoils even though the person seems nice, trust that. When you enter a situation and your spine tingles in warning even though everything appears fine, trust that. When you consider a decision and your gut screams no, even though it makes logical sense, trust that. Your bloodline survival mechanism is built into your biology. Your ancestors who ignored these signals didn't survive to pass on their genes. Your ancestors who trusted these signals lived long enough to have children. You exist because generations of your bloodline trusted their instincts over their conditioning. You carry that wisdom automatically. The question is whether you'll honor it or override it with logic that was programmed into you by systems that benefit from you not trusting yourself. Every time you override your instinct to follow social rules, you betray your bloodline. Every time you ignore your knowing to fit in, you dim your power. Every time you talk yourself out of what your body is telling you, you choose the Matrix over your mission. And the Matrix wants you making those choices. The Matrix needs you doubting yourself. The Matrix requires you questioning your perception, so you'll accept its version of reality instead of trusting your own. But your perception is the most accurate tool you have. Your direct experience trumps any authority's interpretation. Your inner knowing supersedes any expert's opinion. You don't need anyone to validate what you already know. You don't need credentials to trust your gifts. You don't need permission to use your power. You were born with these abilities fully functional. You've just been taught to dismiss them, ignore them, override them with external authority. That programming is breaking down now. Every day you wake up more. Every day you trust yourself more. Every day you question external authority more. This is your bloodline reasserting itself. This is your DNA overriding the social conditioning. This is who you actually are emerging from, underneath who you were taught to be. And this emergence is unstoppable because it's not something you're trying to do. It's something that's naturally happening as the frequency rises. You can't stop this process any more than you can stop yourself from growing. You can resist it. You can slow it down, but you can't prevent it. Your bloodline will activate whether you cooperate or not. Your gifts will emerge whether you acknowledge them or not. Your purpose will assert itself whether you embrace it or not. The only choice you have is whether you'll flow with this or fight it, whether you'll consciously participate or get dragged along unconscious. Conscious participation means you direct the power instead of being overwhelmed by it. It means you channel the gifts instead of having them erupt chaotically. It means you step into your mission deliberately instead of being thrust into it by circumstances that force your hand. This is why the call is happening now. This is why you're being activated now, so you can prepare, so you can practice, so you can build capacity before the full weight of your purpose lands on you, because your purpose has weight. Your mission has responsibility. Your gifts come with obligation. You're not being activated so you can feel special. You're being activated so you can be useful. You're not receiving power for personal gratification. You're receiving power for collective liberation. Everything you're being given is meant to be given away. Everything you're learning is meant to be taught. Everything you're healing is meant to help you heal others. This is the covenant of the chosen. Power comes with purpose. Gifts come with responsibility. Activation comes with assignment. You don't get to keep this for yourself. You don't get to hoard this in private. You don't get to play small with what you've been given. The moment you receive it, you become accountable for it. The moment you know better, you're required to do better. The moment you wake up, you become responsible for helping others wake up. And that responsibility isn't burden. That responsibility is honor. That responsibility is privilege. You get to be part of the most significant transformation in human history. You get to contribute to the liberation of consciousness itself. You get to play a role in the shift that mystics have been prophesying for millennia. Not everyone gets this opportunity. Not everyone carries this bloodline. Not everyone receives this assignment. You do, and that's not accident. That's selection. That's divine strategy. That's cosmic precision. So stop minimizing yourself. Stop pretending you're ordinary. Stop hiding behind false humility. You are extraordinary by design. You are powerful by birthright. You are chosen for a reason. Own that. Claim that. Stand in that. Not with arrogance, with certainty, not with ego, with truth. Not with superiority, with responsibility, because when you own your power, you give others permission to own theirs. When you claim your gifts, you show others their gifts are valid. When you step into your mission, you create a template others can follow. You are not taking up space that belongs to someone else. You are filling the space that's been waiting for you. You are not being too much. You are finally being enough. You are not making others uncomfortable with your intensity. You are making yourself comfortable with your truth, and anyone who can't handle you at this frequency isn't meant to be in your field. Anyone who needs you smaller isn't qualified for where you're going. Anyone who asks you to dim isn't aligned with your destiny. Let them go. Release them with love. Wish them well and keep walking. Your path doesn't require everyone's approval. Your mission doesn't need consensus. Your purpose doesn't wait for permission. You are moving forward regardless of who comes with you. You are rising regardless of who celebrates it. You are becoming who you're meant to be regardless of who understands it. This is what it means to walk in your power. This is what it means to honor your bloodline. This is what it means to fulfill the prophecy.